So now let's hop to the Kafue before we lose you all. So yeah, this is back to a map of northern Kafue where our two camps are. Musekese, as you can see, is in northern Kafue, but in the central part of northern Kafue and on the eastern side of the river. So as I said, this whole eastern block is 2,500 square kilometers, almost twice the size of the Masai Mara, just this bit of the national park. That gives you the scale of the Kafue. So Musekese here is our one camp, and then we cross the river and we drive for a few hours through the heart of the national park to get to the Busanga Plains and our camp called Ntemwa. So the next few slides give you an idea of Musekese starting with. So Musekese overlooks the Eden Lagoon, which is a sometimes completely flooded lagoon, like this image is taken in May. But as the dry season progresses, you may or may not just see that the rooms dotted in this tree line. They all overlook this game-rich lagoon. And as the water recedes, the game comes through, grazing on the green grass that is left with the water. And seasonality very similar to that of the Lower Zambezi. So here we open in May, and we close in, interestingly, a month later. So we actually close here at the end of November, which is very important because it's the only bush camp in the Kafue that is open in the month of November. So if you've got itineraries that want to go and see the bats in Kasanka, or itineraries that want to go to the Lua Plains, those are November highlights in Zambia. But it's tough to find a bush camp in the main parks, the Luangwa, Zambezi, and Kafue, that is still open. But Musekese is, because our access is particularly good. So yes, that water gives way, and from your rooms, you can see in the back, you're watching herds of elephants in the game-rich area that we kind of described earlier. The density is of game just from the camp. This is one of those camps where you can just sit for a few days and not go out on activity and see just as much as those who have gone out on activity. In reality, it's very tough to not prize people away from going on a walk or a game drive or the river, but yeah, it's a very productive area. That lagoon is 6 kilometers long, well protected for a long time, home to a lot of leopards and a lot of ellies.
The game density in this area is phenomenal. It's known amongst guides and people in the know within Zambia as one of the camps that you really see a hell of a lot from your doorstep, from the camp itself.
And yeah, size-wise, the camp, these are the rooms. So as you can see, it's a little bit more to it than our camps in the Lower Zambezi and on the Busanga Plains. But we feel it doesn't detract. It's not, we haven't gone luxury with this one. No, it's just a slightly more, it's been there longer. It's a more established camp. But the rooms are 180-degree open, if you want, facing to the front of the lagoon. We've got 5 rooms, again, very small. Yeah, flushing loose. Slight difference or luxury element here is that your showers are on demand. There you go. Whether it matters or not, we don't really think it does, but it's a nice thing to know. Yeah.
Each camp has its own individual atmosphere, individual flair, and they complement each other really well.
So yeah, just some more sort of images of the feeling of the camp. The room in the middle, you can see the interior, the design, mozzie nets. We can make them doubles, twins. It doesn't, it's all possible. And yeah, again, being out of the camp though is what it's about. The image on the left of me with some guests watching some ellies and having a cup of tea on the right. That's what safari is all about. It's a classic Zambian pursuit, especially the walking safari. Again, though, we're not forcing this down people's throats. If people want to be in a vehicle, find the lions, let's do it. Let's take the cameras out. But if you want to get out of the car, we've got the guides and the passion to impart onto guests in these areas. And yeah, this just hammers home that game comes into Musekese. It's got one of the highest densities of leopard, not only in Zambia, but also in Southern Africa. Our research team at Musekese Conservation are currently doing some statistics on them, and it might not be too far away from the Sabi Sands. Yeah. And that says something for an open system. There's no fences here. So that's what protection and just being very lucky with creating this area over a long time can give you. And you have it to yourself, remember, no one else here. So back up to the map and towards the Busanga Plains. A combination of both areas is really, I would say, is a must if you're coming at the right time of year. So whilst Musekese is open from May to November, Busanga Plains is a shorter season, only opens in July and closes at the end of October, 4 months. So here's an image of Ntemwa. So Ntemwa is a really cool, classic Zambian bush camp, thatched feeling. It was on purpose that we went for this kind of feel. It's very much more of a Luangwa esque feel to it, as bush camps go, like a Mwamba kind of feel. You know, it's a smaller, we've only got 4 rooms here. So it's actually the smallest camp in the Kafue.
Yeah, it's a very intimate little camp. When I grew up, all of the safari camps, some of these bigger names like Chinzombo, they all look like this. And, you know, we know our history and we pay homage to this a little bit there, and we're very proud of it. And it's, you know, thatch and this kind of style of building works in this environment, in this, in the heat, very, very well.
Paraffin lamps and yeah, just a quintessential bush camp. Dinner under the stars, open air bathroom, bucket showers again here, just like the camps in the Lower Zambezi. Yeah, and ceramic basin touches and you know, a view of elephants from your room. Again, wildlife rich area in a very cool area that gives you access to wildlife, you know, to the best wildlife. You know, Luke said it earlier on, you assume every camp's got in good wildlife areas. They're not all in the best wildlife areas. Some of them you have to travel an hour or 2 to get to the best areas. Our 4 camps are in the best wildlife areas in the parks that we operate. I think it's fair to say this.
Yeah, I think it's maybe just to zoom out a little bit. In Zambia, you want to be in and if you are inside the national parks, where you are inside the national parks it really is important. And we're very, very lucky that our locations are literally prime. They are.
And yeah, so activities on Busanga, more vehicle based. There's no river, and walking is less conducive there. If you've got guests that want to walk, Musekese and Lower Zambezi, that's the place for that. But Busanga, because it's so big, it's about getting out there, like you can see with James. Getting out in the vehicle, putting in a few kilometers for a few days, and just seeing the intricacy of Busanga. You know, it's so beautiful, so varied. Pools and lions and hippos and a whole host of stuff to be seen on the Busanga plains.